So what is going on, guys? We're taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class number 49, Bumblebee. Yes, number 49. I have the box. I could see it. I was like, I don't know exactly how I'm going to put this because I've already reviewed the Studio Series Bumblebee. And also, I'm down to 2 Studio Series figures left to review, and they're both Optimus Prime. But, yes, just to prove it, 49. There's his box. Woot woot. I do have some boxes. I don't have all the boxes. I kept, I think, all my Studio Series just because I like to have like little numbers and everything. Except for Lockdown and Prime. Is it 05 Prime? I didn't keep his because I got them in New Brunswick on a trip one time and I just had to throw away the boxes. Womp womp. As far as this Bumblebee goes, though, this is based on his 2007 Camaro version, but instead of the regular head, he has the battle mask face, which, speaking of said face, looks pretty nice. Has some nice bits of black paint on it, the little eye guards, and then up here on the head as well. It has the Autobot logo right there, looking pretty nice. I actually really do like this figure. I think he's really good looking for Deluxe, and I mean, he is kind of tiny. I have mentioned it many times before that usually Bumblebee toys nowadays are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Here's our little friend Shadow Panther. There he is. See, he pretty much clears them height-wise. And here he is next to the other closest individual, that being Skywarp. And he's a tiny little guy. He's not a very big guy at all. It's fine enough because they're trying to go for movie-accurate scaling and everything. A Bumblebee is one of the smaller ones, so it does make sense. He comes with exactly one accessory, that being his arm cannon, which, unlike the Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee, it doesn't rip his arm off. It's just a gun that you put in his hand, and it covers it over a bit. Better system, if you ask me. And it can be stored. If you come on the back, there's the hole right there, and then there's the peg that's on the handle. Just peg it on there. Boom, it's out of the way. As far as backpack goes, actually, to look at it, not that bad, actually, for a Bumblebee. Usually it's worse. Kind of hate how the wheels and, like, the whole fender here is just kind of hanging off his back. The doors are supposed to be there, so I'm fine with that. The hood is, it's not supposed to be there. The hood's right here. We know that. We know where the hood is. We know where it is. But it is a faux chest, but it's not a full faux chest. And we'll get to that during the transformation. Side of the legs, you look at that, you got, like, the rear bumper, along with painted taillights. There's some gunmetal paint right there, and on his arms, and up here on his shoulders. So he's decently painted in most areas, except why is his crotch black? Everywhere else is in this kind of darker gray plastic. It's the only bit of black. That and the feet, but the feet are fine. Because the feet are at the bottom, and I'm pretty sure they actually are black in the movies, so, but, like, the crotch, no paint. They didn't even paint, like, the little bumper, or the license plate thing. They didn't paint that, but this probably should have been gray. And on the box, they actually screwed the colors up. Get it in here. If you look how light the gray is, I think they used it on the Bumblebee series figure they released. I think. Now, it's a hard I think. But I actually much prefer the darker coloration of this guy. I think the darker coloration works a lot more. So let's get into the articulation. As far as articulation goes, this guy's pretty articulate. Ball joint in the head, you can do pretty much anything you want there. Also has a ball joint in the shoulder. Go forward, not as much back because it's blocked by them fenders. Outward, a ball joint at the elbow, which is weird for a Deluxe. Usually it's a hinge and then a swivel. No. No wrist. He does have a waist, forward and back. Outward, knee, and a swivel. And he does kind of have a foot tilt. You don't even have to, like, really break it because they put this on a hinge for the transformation so you can articulate it to have it follow it. So that is actually pretty good engineering for ankle tilt on this guy. So let's get into the transformation. So to transform Bumblebee, the first thing you're going to do is come to the arms and you're going to flatten out these bits here. Straighten the arms out, and that's pretty much all we're going to do for now. Come to the back, straighten those doors like that, and then flip the bits that were hanging down up to form the windows. Also, don't forget to unpeg the gun if you have it stored. Come to the back and lift it up like that, and then fold it out. Mine has a stress mark on it. I don't know which exact side it is. There's also another panel you have to flip out there. I don't exactly know which side it is. I think it might be this one. But there is a stress mark on one of them, and it's not very cool. But besides that, let's keep it going. Put the arms out like that. Come to the chest and lift it up like that. After you do that, now we get to the fun bit, which is the legs. The legs actually have a really interesting transformation, in my opinion. Like, very interesting. So you're going to want to rotate the waist around like this. I don't know why that's so iffy, and I always feel like it's going to break because it's a long peg on some, like, kind of softish plastic, and I don't like the feel of it. So you're going to do that. You're also going to rotate the lag around again. So a lot of lag rotations going on here. Fold out the back window here. That is in the legs. You're then going to want to come here and you're going to want to rotate this upward. You're going to want to rotate the shins up a bit and then come to the leg and then push on it, and then you can flip the rear bits out from the side of the leg like that. And then you can flip in the shins. So the shins now have enough space. Make sure they do. That one wasn't flipped out all the way. So I lied. Peg the rear together like so. And then you can take... The fun part here is trying to get that bit through there, so you can get the foot in place. So you just gotta kind of find a way to finagle it through. It is a bit annoying, but you can do it kind of easily. And that bit will peg in like that. I think I gotta push the feet in. I think I screwed up. Lucky though. Did I have to push the feet in? I think I screwed up again. Yeah, I did. You don't have to push the feet in. I'm a dummy. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. So then you're going to come to the back section here, and you're going to rotate the door bits downward, like that. So rotate them down, and then take the chest and keep folding it forward. And so it starts to get fun. Open up this little section here, and just kind of get the arms out of the way. I'm confused on if I have the feet in the right place here. I don't know if I do. Because, not that I don't really remember this guy's transformation, but it's just kind of weird sometimes, the clearance with the feet. Sometimes they like to go, sometimes they don't. So fold the arms in like that, and leave them pointing down like that. Now you're left with this mess to deal with, and it's an experience. So you want to come to the chest piece here and pull on the bits with the headlight. So there's that, and then you can fold this up and under, and that'll go into the hood. So yes, it's parts forming, but it's parts forming done in a way where the part that's fake ends up in the bit that it's trying to be, which is kind of cool. And then take the headlight sections and I fold up and form the front of the car mode. Now for my least favorite part of the transformation. These bits, the fender bits, aim them down and then they do that. And that's how I figured out how to do it, is to aim it downward. For some reason, they will not go when you put them forward the way they're supposed to be when trying to fold them in, because they catch. And I never bothered to fix it. I don't know why I never bothered to fix it, but I just didn't. You can now take the arms and fold them up and under, fold in that section, like so, and now you're left with trying to close the doors. Which is where the feet that I think I wrongfully transformed may be a problem. There we go, they're pushed in enough, I think. If they're not, there might be an edit, but yeah, so I might do an edit just to clean this up, and we'll get back to it. And we're back, and this is Bumblebee's Camaro form, which of course they're not going to screw up. This is like the pinnacle car from the franchise. Everyone knows it. Every time I see a Camaro that's yellow with black stripes, you know exactly who it's trying to be. Especially when it's this exact model. You know what they're trying to be, even when it's not the exact model. It's still trying to be Bumblebee. It's just an iconic car, and that's the thing. It's iconic. He does look like Bumblebee underneath, but a bit more squished up, which is nice, and I do like how everything ends up in different places. Once the gun does technically store, you can come to the back. There's like 2 little grooves here, and then there's some little pegs on there. And the gun will peg back on, and there it is. It's just on there. He doesn't roll the best because of the arm guards, and that's kind of an issue. These arm guards stick down way too far. Like, oh, it might be just how you transformed it. No, they just always stick down too far. Look at that. No matter what, they're going to be sticking down too far. Even if I were to unpeg the hand and try to rework them in there, still too far down. And also, there's a lot of mismatched yellow here. The painted yellow and the sculpted yellow are fairly obvious, and it's just kind of, you know, like you look at the doors and the top of the roof where it's clearly translucent plastic, and you can see it a lot more. Then, like here, you can't really notice it right there as much, mainly because it's a bit smaller. But when you look at the sculpted yellow plastic, it's like, it's just a more orangey color. And then, like, the painted's more of a mustardy color. Speaking of paint, he has headlights, the front grille and everything painted. Wheels are painted really nicely. He even has rear lights. They didn't paint the logo, though, ironically. They did on the front. They're going to paint the Chevy logo on the front, but they didn't do it on the back. Also, no tailpipes. But no license plate again, which is weird. Because, you know, it's kind of a design aspect, is that license plate, which just isn't there for some reason. I mean, he does look decent enough, and even like translucent plastic's like a smoky, like it's kind of gray, I guess, would be the way to put it. But I mean, yeah, this looks pretty good. Let's get to my overall thoughts on him. So my thoughts on him is Bumblebee. I think he's pretty alright. He's not crazy good, but he's not like the worst thing ever. I mean, if you wanted a movie deluxe Bumblebee of this particular design, there's like 3 or 4 different, there's a ton of versions of this exact mold out there. One of which is the Dark of the Moon version, so the chest piece is a bit different. It has the rally car. There's the Revenge of the Fallen one, which I think is the one I mentioned earlier. I thought it was the Bumblebee one, but I think it's the Revenge of the Fallen one, where it has the light gray instead of the dark gray like this one has. And I mean, the dark gray is what makes this one better to me. And I mean, as far as this guy goes, he is quite good, and he's exactly what I want him to be. So there's no being mad at him for being, you know, Bumblebee. That's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be movie Bumblebee, but not, like, fully there. And this guy does come from the Clunker mold, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same exact thing. But, like, there's a couple little different steps here and there on the figure. So there is that. So if you don't like that figure, you might not like this one, but they might have upgraded it. I don't own the Clunker Bee. And I think that this guy's pretty fantastic all around. Except for when he looks like this. That looks horrifying. Look at that. That's horrifying. That's just horrifying right there. That's crazy looking. So as far as my thoughts go, I'm going to give this Bumblebee a 3.5. I think that's a pretty fair rating. Now, while I do like his robot mode, his transformation is a bit tedious. And yes, the problem with the feet, I never really addressed it. They were supposed to be pushed in. Which I thought I was going to maybe have to untransform the entire thing to get at. No, I didn't have to. I just had to push them in. And there goes that bit. Distress mark. That's not good. Can I see it on there? Not really. But yeah, as far as this guy goes, decent enough. If you want him, get him. If you don't want him, skip him. He's just a bumblebee. That's what he is. So this has been Eilt, Eilt, Elite, signing out.